The Cowboys are adding a familiar face at quarterback after Cooper Rush and Trey Lance struggled, and they made a decision regarding the starting quarterback situation. What is up, everyone, and welcome into A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. I am your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and catching up with you Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays with quick hitting videos such as this one, because there's a lot that goes on during the week that we need to get to, and that includes the Cowboys essentially confirming Cooper Rush as the quarterback moving forward for Dallas. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But before, let me tell you that they already added another QB. That's right. After Sunday's struggles, there's a new QB in the mix. It's a familiar face. It's Will Greer, the former West Virginia QB, former Cowboys preseason hero. Do you remember the guy? I'll give you a reminder otherwise. Preseason finale in 2023, the Cowboys already traded for Trey Lance back by then, and Will Greer knew he wasn't going to be with the Cowboys any longer. He knew it was going to be Trey Lance as soon as that trade happened, obviously, because the Cowboys had given up a fourth rounder for Lance. And then they say, hey, Will Greer, you're getting the entire game, the entire preseason finale for yourself. Go audition for the other 31 NFL teams. That's exactly what Greer did. He went out there, passed for over 300 yards, completed 83% of his passes, added, I don't remember how many, but it was quite a few rushing yards as well. And then Will Greer ended up, I think, with the Eagles, actually. Now he's headed back to Dallas. I do want to be clear. This does not appear to be a reaction to Lance and Rush playing bad football on Sunday. It just kind of seems like it's a move for depth because the Cowboys are fully expecting Dak Prescott to land on injured reserve, and they want to have 3 QBs available, it seems like. So that would make Rush the number 1, Trey Lance the number 2, and then Will Greer in the practice squad as the de facto number 3. I don't know that they will activate him as an emergency QB. That would obviously be a little bit tougher to do, just based on the fact that you don't want a roster spot used on Will Greer, I would assume. Now, that's part 1 of the show, because obviously it's an important move for the Cowboys. Anytime they move a QB, people want to talk about it. So, interesting that they brought in Will Greer. Again, I see it as nothing but a move based on a need for depth, but also, would it be totally crazy to see him by the end of the year? By what we saw on Sunday, I wouldn't say it's the most insane assumption or prediction to make. I wouldn't make it out to be the hottest of takes. Because let me tell you, these 2 guys were bad on Sunday. I'm sure you know about that. And, I mean, turned the ball over, combined 3 times, just the 2 of them. Didn't look particularly accurate and had some erratic decision-making as well. But speaking of that, I want to ask you something, and let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should Cooper Rush or Trey Lance start the rest of the way? We'll get into the Cowboys' decision and what to make of it in just a moment, but who would you bet on after seeing a game of each? And I want to get into how particular the quotes are from Mike McCarthy on this whole thing. But before we do, and while you let me know what your answer is in the comments, let me talk to you about some guys that are making some big bets of their own, and they got a special offer for us, so pay attention here. Remember, man, if you want to go play poker, there's nowhere better to do so than at Texas Card House, where you can join the premier poker experience, where the thrill of the game meets the excitement of the community. If you want to play poker, you want to do so within the right community, and Texas Card House has that for you, and you can visit any of their 6 Texas locations. That includes the Dallas and Las Colinas venues. Texas Card House offers a unique blend of luxury, sophistication, and camaraderie for poker aficionados, and that goes for those who are just starting out in the game or those who are seasoned pros. Join a welcoming community at a top-notch facility located near you. And let me tell you something. If you go there and you mention A to Z Sports, like George Costanza when he goes out there and he mentions Kramer's name in a glasses store, go there, mention A to Z Sports, or use the code AZSportsOnline to get a free month of membership access and free hours to play at the club. This is valid at the Texas Card House, Dallas, and Las Colinas. And hey, you know where to find them. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Texas Card House. They're doing a great job. Remember, go mention A to Z Sports or use promo code AZSports on their online website. And I'll see you there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the thing about Cooper Rush starting over Trey Lance has been controversial among Cowboys fans. And I'm going to be honest with you, I honestly think it doesn't make a big difference anyway. But it is a little bit rough to start Rush again after how he looked on Sunday. Because it was bad. Like, it was capital B bad. The play calling did not help. The pass protection didn't help in a lot of instances either, even though, shout out to Asim Richards, actually had a pretty solid game. I've seen people talk about whether or not he was better than Tyler Guyton, and I wouldn't be able to say no immediately. I would have to go over the film, but there's a chance Asim Richards played a better game than Tyler Guyton. But Cooper Rush was bad, man. He was all out of sorts. He was making erratic decisions, simply having receivers open and not hitting them, which I think was the most frustrating part upon watching the replay. There's so many of those plays where you don't know what he's doing. There was an instance during the broadcast where Tony Romo actually kind of low-key roasted Cooper Rush. I don't remember the exact routes, but he's saying, oh, there's a screen to this side, there's this concept to the other, and he says sarcastically, or not sarcastically, but ironically, and Cooper Rush is throwing the out route and not even like being accurate with it, by the way. But Cooper Rush was bad enough to where you can be, hey, you know what? Let's just give Trey Lance a chance. And this is where it really kind of makes me wonder, do they really, really absolutely adore Cooper Rush? Or do they really just do not believe Trey Lance is playable? Because at this point, it isn't about Lance not knowing the offense. It isn't about Lance not knowing the package, which, by the way, Mike McCarthy, after the game, said something along the lines of, and I'll actually have like the exact quote for you right here. He was talking about the whole sequence when Trey Lance went in and then he was pulled out and then, just playing him later on in the game. The quote post-game from Mike McCarthy about it was that they're not there yet, because he was asked if Lance was going to start games. He said, we're not there yet. We had a package for him. We wanted him to get into the flow of the game, was the thought process coming in here. Then to get him in when we did, then I took him out on the third down. This is the part that's interesting to me. I just believe in reps. I mean, that third down segment there, not that he couldn't run the plays, I just didn't want to put him in there. Something that he had in a lot of reps in. I understand that Trey Lance is a third-string quarterback. But I also understand that, hey, Cooper Rush has not had a lot of these reps either. I mean, maybe with the second team, but we know how the season goes. Once you are in the season, all of the valuable reps go to the starter. I'm not sure if that is enough of an explanation. If he knows the plays, I don't know that lack of reps is a reason why you wouldn't get Trey Lance in there personally. And I think that is reinforced by the fact that they are still betting on Trey Lance moving on to week 11 versus the Houston Texans. I think it's just odd. I think it doesn't make that big of a difference. But I think that they're maybe showing way too much confidence on Cooper Rush because he was really bad in week 11. And the thing about him being bad is that I know that he went 5-1, but I cannot forget what the context was when he did that in 2022. You had one of the best defenses in the league that was consistently stealing the ball. In 2022, the Cowboys led the NFL in takeaways. That is not the version of the defense that you've got in 2024. And I say that even one game after they did take the ball away in a variety of ways. Trevon Diggs picking off Jalen Hurts in the end zone. Micah Parsons with the strip sack. They're not that defense, though, or they have not been that defense for the most part. Add to that they don't have the weapons. Add to that they don't have the running game. The pass protection is highly questionable. And I don't know that Cooper Rush is going to be able to overcome all of that. Personally, I am intrigued to go with the Trey Lance route, mostly based on what Cooper Rush did wrong on Sunday. But it seems to me that the Cowboys are looking at it vice versa. They don't want to play Cooper. They want to play Cooper Rush because they don't want to play Trey Lance. That's what it seems like to me. And that just tells you volumes about the situation without Dak Prescott. Now, I do wonder if they don't want to play Cooper Rush, they don't want to play Trey Lance, could it be that by week 17 we do get to see Will Greer? How hilarious would that be? Just stay tuned. That's what this Cowboys season is about at this point of the year. They're not going to the playoffs. So let's just embrace the chaos, I guess, while we start getting ready for the NFL draft that is going to take place in April. I know people are already talking about some of the top prospects because the Cowboys might end up with a top pick, and maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, though, hit the like button for me if you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.